What's up, guys? Bolt here, bringing you a brand new Fast and Furious car remake. In today's remake, I'm bringing you the 1993 LX Mustang that was in F9 or Fast 9, and also in Fast X or Fast 10. Now, this car was highly requested by a lot of people, and I will put them as many as I can on screen right now, and throughout the entire part here. But thank you very much for requesting this, guys. It actually was a really nice challenge and really good try to actually work on possibly recording this build and all that. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I actually planned on building this a little bit later on because I actually knew that about the car coming out, thanks to a lot of people just spoiling for me. I planned on building it anyways, but again, thank you so much for all the support and requests and everything. Love them all. We're going to get into a little bit of a backstory about this car. So this car first appeared in F9 or Fast 9, which is what I'm going to call it mainly, and it is driven by Jakob Toretto. So Dom shows up at a race meet to actually race Jakob after he gets out of jail. And as you can see, there's a young Vince, Mia, and Letty there as well, which is kind of crazy. It's kind of cool. It does bring back really nice reminiscence parts to the very first movie and everything, because they're all there. I don't see Leon and Jesse, but I guess they get added on a little bit later. But I mean, overall, it is like one of the best parts of the movie. You have the old style muscle cars gonna race. Dom and Jakob both race. Dom wins in the end, and Jakob just keeps driving because they just told him to keep driving. That's what he's been doing. This car makes a big splash in that movie just because of that one street race scene, that one drag scene. The car was built for a teenager, and it was more like a drag race build. Had nice big drag radials in the back, had this nice blue kind of color to it. It also had like a big cowl on the front of the hood and everything, so it was pretty cool. It looked more like a teenager's, like, I don't know, high schoolish kind of build, Move into Fast X or Fast 10, you have Uncle Jakob, which is, he's a little bit older now, and the car's been, I would say, through the years, held up pretty decently. A little bit more damage done to it. He's changed a few things on the car, but overall it looks pretty much the same. And the cool thing is they actually moved it from F9 to Fast 10 or Fast X. So that's kind of cool. They reused the car, they didn't damage it or destroy it, which mostly they do, and it actually made an appearance in both movies. So it is a kind of more known car, which is kind of nice. So anyways, I want to give a few shout outs to a few people. Cheerful for helping me actually figure out some more pictures for the car, the color of the car, and a few modifications as well. And Jakob for actually helping me build the car and go over options for the build and all that. So thank you very much for both of them. That's great. I love all the support everyone does give, and yeah, moving on with the build. So I would say overall I am happy with the build. There's only one thing I wish I could do. So in Fast 10 or Fast X, there is a canoe that is actually on top of the car. Unfortunately, we can't get that. I wish we could. Now, the reason I say that is because if we had like a roof box or something that you could actually add to the car, that would look really cool, and it would kind of reminiscent the best for the canoe that's on top of the car. But unfortunately, there's no option for the roof on this build. So I think they kind of missed out on that. They could have added something to the roof of this, maybe like tires or something as well, and just taking what was probably on the Remus and add on top of this, which would be really cool. But I mean, overall, I'm happy with how the build turned out. And I'm going to stop rambling on. We're going to start actually getting into the build. So we're going to start off with the base price. You want to go to the internet. You want to go up here to the travel and transport website. You want to go down here to the Southern San Andreas Super Autos website. It is brand new to the website, so it's going to be at the top for me right now. But if you're looking at this as a later build, then you're going to go to the two-door option, and you want to go down and find yourself part of the Bottom Dollar Bounties DLC. It's a two-seater, the Vapid Dominator FX. Now, there's no trade price for this vehicle, so it's going to be costing you $1,550,000, which is pretty cheap. And after all the modifications and changes on performance and aesthetics to the actual car, you're going to be looking at 1.7 to 1.8 million max. So it's pretty relatively inexpensive, I would say, compared to other builds like supercars and things of that sort, and tuner cars of that sort. Anyways, once you have your car and you have your color, meet us at the Los Santos car meet location. There's a reason mainly why I'm here, and it's because it gives more street race vibes and more kind of reminiscence to like the F9 street racing scene, I guess. Also, it does have a little bit of uses because you do need to change the lights, but we'll get into that here in a little bit. Very easy car to build. There's not too much done to it, but what we have done to it, let's go over and check it out. So as you pull in, the Vapid Dominator FX is in the muscle category. It is self-explanatory. It looks like an old Mustang LX or like a Mustang Fox body or something along those lines. And I mean, it just fits really great for this build, and it looks really close to the actual real life thing too. So as I go over all my builds, I go over the overall look, the visual appearance, the basic design, the car, and how it's portrayed in the movie, game, or anywhere else in general itself. Anything I don't go over is completely up to you. I just put a few staples in on my build. If you want to create my build or take some things away from my build, you're more than welcome to. But without further ado, let's get into the build. To start things off, you want to go to arch covers. You just want to keep them stock. It didn't have any like carbon or bolt-on arches or any kind of bigger arches. It was pretty much stock. Just keep it stock right there. After that, move on to the bumpers. You want to go to the front bumper. You want to go with the stock bumper. All the other bumpers kind of make it a little bit more racer-esque, a little bit longer, a little bit bigger, and it adds a splitter on the end, and you don't want that. It was, again, I would say mainly, or basically, stock. It just probably had more power under the hood than visual aesthetics-wise. So, yeah, go with the stock front bumper. Best option there. After that, move on to the rear bumpers. You want to go with the stock rear bumper. It didn't have any kind of vents on there, and it definitely didn't look anything like these. So, yeah, definitely just go with the stock rear bumper. Since there's no option to actually modify the engine bay or anything underneath that, which is kind of sad, but I mean, we don't have any pictures of that, so it's also good. We're just going to move on to the exhaust. So now I went with the quad exhaust. The sad part is the actual car only had a twin exhaust, but it was one on each side of the back. So left and right, you know, there's nothing on the sides there like these here, and it's also definitely not a single. It was a twin exhaust, but it is not a quad exhaust. So twin, quad. Okay, get that? Good. I went with the quad exhaust because they weren't sticking out of like underneath the car all that much. They looked a bit more like stock wise and everything. If you want to go more realistic close to the build, I would definitely go with the twin chrome tip exhaust. Now the reason why I'm not going for it is because it sticks out too far. It just doesn't look right at all. It doesn't look more hidden or anything. I just feel like the quad exhaust fit the best because they are a little bit more hidden, and they just don't look out of place. Again, they should be singles, but unfortunately we don't have that option in game. So again, two best options, quad exhaust or twin chrome tipped exhaust. Completely your choice on which one you want to go for. I'm sticking with the quad exhaust. After that, move on to the grill. I went with the letterbox grill. It looks the closest to the actual real life car grill. I was actually thinking about going with the painted badge grill because it does have the lattice like grill design in there. Also the logo as well from the car manufacturer, but it is a little bit big and it doesn't look right. This is perfect. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the lattice grill part in there or the logo in the middle, but it is better in my personal opinion, so definitely go with the letterbox grill. After that, move on to the hood. I went with the turbo cover. Now, before I made this, I actually had the ridged hood. I've seen a few people actually have the high cow hood as well, and they also added a livery, which actually adds a stripe down the middle and everything, which gives you the stripe for the actual car. But what you want to do to get the stripe is actually go with the turbo cover hood. If you actually look at the hood, it looks like it's a matte or like a satin kind of look to it, and it also is raised up a little bit, as you can see, compared to the stock. There's the stock. There's the big one, and it's kind of like the low cow hood almost, but it is actually all like a matte black. It also has the kind of design on the side for the vented hood, like kind of like the indented hood there, as you can see, and it looks really close for the build. It's perfect for the build in my personal opinion, and I think they added it maybe just for that part, but I could be wrong. But I definitely go with the turbo cover hood, best option there. You get the nice like metallic glossy car looking color there, and then you have this kind of like plastic matte satinish like cover there, which is raised up, and it fits perfectly for the build. So I would definitely go with the turbo cover, best option there. After that, move on to the lights. You want to go to headlights and you want to put on white lights. I know. I'm not too happy about it either. In F9, when they were drag racing, both the cars had white lights. Now you're probably thinking, color filters, color filters. Yes, color filters are a thing, and they do happen in movies. But unfortunately, that does not take away the colors of the lights. I was hoping they would be stock because the stock lights do fit the build really nicely, and it just is a 1993 old style Mustang. It just fits. But no, they have white lights. Maybe he upgraded it for looking more fancier and changed a few things on aesthetics wise, and not as much as you would expect, like no body kit, no wing, and all that, you know, all kind of different stuff like that. I would definitely go with the white lights. That's another reason why we're at the car mate. So white lights, best option there. After that, move on to the neon kits. You want to go to neon layout. Neon layout's going to be none because there's no neon on the car. It's not a tuner car for one. You don't see too much neon on muscle cars, and I would say back then they didn't really worry about that much. Just kind of brings back the older style look to the car. So yeah, definitely go with none. After that, move on to the livery. You want to go with none. Now, if you do decide to not go with the turbo cover, I would definitely go with the classic stripes. Now, it does add the stripes on the side with the Dominator part, which you don't want. That's why I didn't go with the livery. That's why I went with the turbo cover. It looks the best. So I definitely would go with none. But if you don't want to go with the turbo cover and you still need that black line, but you will get a black line on the side, definitely go with the classic stripes. After that, move on to the mirrors. You want to go with the stock mirrors. They were just like a stock plastic matte satin color look to them. That's all it is. And they were really big and boxy too. So the stock mirrors, best option there. I mean, it's self-explanatory. They're not small, they're not big, they're not color coded or on the fenders. So yeah, definitely go with the stock ones. After that, move on to the plate. I went with a blue and white 2, and the custom plate you want to go for, that's in both movies, by the way, I might add, is this exact plate, 2QCE265. Again, that is 2QCE265. So now that is the actual plate that's on the real life car in both movies, F9 and Fast X, and that's the best one I could go for is the blue and white 2, because I mean, that's pretty much where they're from, is California. So I mean, it's self-explanatory, right? So there you go. Save and respray for last, move on to the roll cage. Now, I was hoping there was going to be like maybe a roll cage in the car. Unfortunately, in F9, there's seems to be no roll cage in the car whatsoever. So definitely go with no roll cage for that. Both in Dom and Jacob's car didn't have a roll cage. And also in Fast X, there's no roll cage in the car either. So definitely go with no roll cage. After that, move on to the sun strip. Definitely go with none. Didn't have no sun strips, so don't worry about adding or changing anything on there. After that, move on to the skirts. You want to go with the stock skirts. I was actually thinking about maybe checking out the skirts and see if there's a better option, but honestly, they're stock. They're not boxed out. They're not longer. They don't have like little, I don't know, piece on the bottom there or anything, or sticking out a little bit. They're just stock. Like I said, I would say the main part of his body of the car is stock. Probably all the money that he had went into like the hood a little bit, the rims, and the performance, and maybe the lights and stuff. But I'd just go with the stock skirt, guys. Best option there. After that, move on to the spoiler. Now, I went with the race spoiler because on most Mustangs of that time frame, 1993, they had this kind of spoiler on there. It was kind of like a ducktail, but at the same time, but it's all one piece, it's all solid, and it kind of is like a shelf on the back there, and it just looks the best. The race spoiler just looks the best. It fits the best. It is pretty much the spoiler that's supposed to be on the Mustangs, so I would definitely go with the race spoiler. Best option there. After that, move on to the suspension. I couldn't make myself do it. It's a Mustang. It's an old style muscle car. I mean, at the most, if you want to lower it, go to a lowered. That's all I can say. I would say otherwise, keep it stock. After that, move on to the turbo. I would definitely add a turbo in there. The main reason for this is because I feel like it had the power to it. Also, you can't hear the turbo going off in game, so I would definitely add a turbo, get that boost. It is pretty quick in game, I will say that, so that's really nice. So there you go. There's that. After that, move on to the wheels. You want to go to wheel type. You want to go to the muscle category. You want to go to the chrome rims, and you want to put on the 5-star rims. Now, the front rims are pretty much perfect, exactly the way they are, but the back rims could be a little bit more deep dish. The reason I say that is because the back rims or the back wheels were pretty much drag radials, so they were a lot thicker of wheels, and they just had like a more deep dished kind of rim in the back. So I've seen a few people use the other rims as well, which are, I'm going to show you real quick, in the street category, and they are going to be these right here, the Cup Champion. They still have the rivets around the outside. They do have the chrome look to them, but they're deep dish in the front and the rear, which is not the greatest, and the tires don't make them any a little bit bigger either. Also, you had to keep them alloy, which I don't recommend or like, and they don't look the closest to the actual rims from the movie. I still think the 5-star look closest, especially in certain pictures I'm going to be posting, and they still have the rivets, they still have the look to them, and they're chrome. You could definitely tell the rims are chrome in the movie and the screenshots I'm going to be posting. So it's completely up to you if you want to go with the ones that I went for, which is the Muscle 5-star in chrome, or if you want to go down here and to the street and go with the Cup Champion, to make sure to keep them alloy. I mean, the outside rim is chrome, but make sure to keep them alloy. Completely up to you which one you want to go for. After that, move on to the wheel color. Again, if it's the other ones, make sure they're alloy. Otherwise, they're chrome. You can't change them, so don't worry about that. After that, move on to the tires. You want to go to tire design. You don't want any custom tires on there. Unfortunately, it didn't have any like tire text on there. It looks better without it, so definitely no tire design. After that, move on to the tire enhancements. You want to go with standard tires, which is more realistic to the actual build, or I know it is GT Online, so you can add bulletproof tires on if you wish. Completely your choice which one you want to do. I wouldn't add low grips. It definitely wasn't drifting. It was more of a drag car than anything, so definitely go with either standard or bulletproof. Completely your choice. After that, move on to the tire smoke. Go with the white tire smoke. I don't see a point in changing this. Last for the respray is windows. You want to go with a nice dark smoke. Now, bear with me here. In certain pictures of the actual frame, you'll see that the windows are pretty dark. So I would say at the most, you go with a dark smoke. At the least, I would go with a light smoke. Completely your choice on that one. I wouldn't go limo. I think it's just too dark, and you could definitely see inside the driver window and everything a little bit. So I would say, again, The lowest go with the light smoke, the darkest go with the dark smoke. I like the dark smoke look, especially for the back rear windows pictures that I have and everything. So I think that fits the best, and that's what I'm going to go for, is dark smoke. Alright, and I'll see you guys in 2 seconds with a rolled steel primer color. Alright, and we're back. As you can see, I have my car in my primered out rolled steel. Pretty much what I always do for all my builds. That way you know what colors I'm going to be doing for the LSC color and custom crew color. I will note one thing right now. The LSC color is not even close to my custom crew color. And it's the best I could do in game for the LSC color. If you want the actual real life looking car, definitely go with my custom crew color. It's free to use. You can join the crew, request it. I mean, it should be on when I upload this video. And yeah, just go with that. But I'm going to go with the LC color first. So you're going to go to the primary color. You want to go down here to the metallics. You want to go down to the metallic blues area, and you want to look for the one I think fits the closest is nautical blue. So you want to put that on just like that. After that, go to the secondary color. You want to go down metallics. You also want to go down and put on the nautical blue. And that is the primary color done. Now for the primary color, you want to go back into that, go down to pearlescence, and it's on a light blue right now. Completely up to you which one you want to go for. I would say for the LSC color, go with an ultra blue. It gives it a nice decent shine to it, and also gives it blue shine to it. For the custom crew color, I went with a gasoline green. I definitely want to go gasoline green on this. I would definitely go with an ultra blue for the LSC color. You want a little bit more blue on this, and it's not that blue, I would say, but that is pretty much what I would go for there. After that, move on to the trim color. You want to go with a nice black. It was a nice black out interior, which is nice and clean. So definitely go with that. And that right there is the LSC color done, guys. That's pretty much it. Again, a decently viable option for what we have in game for the actual car, but it doesn't meet my custom crew color. So I'll put the hex code on screen right now for you guys, as well as the RGB and hex code down in the description below. It is called Bimini Blue, which is also a Ford color as well. So there you go. So you're going to see it change in 3, 2, 1. This is the custom crew color I came up with. You just want to apply that just like that. Go into the secondary colors, same exact thing. 3, 2, 1. Boom. Now it looks great the way it is right now. I mean, it looks great. Ultra Blue Pearl does look nice on it, but I feel like it's a little bit too overpowering. We don't really want that too much. So what I decided to go for instead, you can also go with the Ultra Blue if you wish. It's completely your choice, but I think it fits best and gives it a little bit more of a kind of Bimini blue color to it is the Gasoline Green Pearl. If you have it unlocked, that's great. If not, go to your auto shop. It should be free. All the colors there will be free. You don't have to pay for them or anything, and definitely go with that. So that is why I went with that there. It just looks so much better on the car, and as you'll see in the light, it looks really close to the one from Fast X or Fast 10, and in the dark or in the shadows, you'll still see the car from F9 or Fast 9. And yeah, guys, that's it. That's how you recreate the 1993 LX Mustang from F9 or Fast 9, and also in Fast X or Fast 10. Decently happy with how this turned out. If I had a roof rack on this thing, I would 100% do 2 different builds. As of right now, I'm just doing one, and I feel like the F9 build it won the poll. As you can see, I'm going to put that poll right up right now. So there you go. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. So go back to our parking spot, and now we'll go outside. As you see in the light, you'll definitely see the color pop from the Fast X or Fast 10 a lot more than from Fast 9 or F9. And I think it looks great. I have no complaints with it. It was a really big paint. It's probably one of the more difficult colors I've actually had to create, but I'm relatively happy with it. If you guys think it's too light or too dark, let me know. I'll be more than happy to possibly make alternative colors and post them down in the top 10 comment as well, but let's just go for a drive. Like I said, this thing actually handles really nice, and also it is a muscle car, so it does wheelie, yes. But yeah, this thing, it handles beautifully. It really does. And I am extremely happy with how the build turned out. Again, if I can get some shadows here real quick, maybe you can see the car from F9 a little bit more. Kind of hard to see. It'd be better if it was nighttime, but kind of get the idea. But I mean, overall, it is the same car over and over. I'm not going to make 2 different videos for each one. It's relatively the same car. I mean, there's not really much difference. I would say in Fast X or Fast 10, the cowl is not as big on the front of the hood. The rims are the same, the design's the same, the color's the same. There's nothing really changed other than probably the hood. The hood's a little bit more smooth or flush. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. So I hope you guys did enjoy. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Leave comments down in the comment section down below for what build you'd like to see next. I plan on bringing more builds out, so don't worry about that. Links down in the description below for Twitter, Discord, and the crew. Free to join, free to leave anytime you wish. If you want a custom crew color, feel free to ask me. I'm more than happy to change it for you guys. I mean, as long as I'm not working on a custom crew color, then I'll be able to change it pretty quick. But other than that, I might be at work or asleep. But I mean, with all that being said, guys, I hope you have a great day / night. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the continued love and support, as always, especially whenever my recording stuff is kind of down right now. So hopefully this works, and I definitely hope to see you guys in the next one. So I'll catch you guys later, and I'm out. Peace.